due to the second law of thermodynamics that unless someone intervenes, this whole show is going to go to heat death.
So I used to be a man of science without God in my life, and then I made God on my life with science being the prime supporter.
Yep.
And Revelation doesn't really make sense to me, and I feel like it doesn't make sense to a lot of people. So I'm curious, since you said time is finite, what's your opinion on the end times scientifically and biblically, and how do they connect?
Well, you know, scientifically, there's a whole field called eschatology, not just biblically, not just theology, but science knows, due to the second law of thermodynamics, that unless someone intervenes, this whole show is going to go to heat death, that we're ultimately just going to run out of gas. That's why the idea that you can live forever in this physical format that we're in right now with these laws of nature and with our fallen state is false. They know that we're ultimately going to go to heat death. So eschatology is a scientific endeavor as well as a theological endeavor. So the book of Revelation, yeah, there's been a lot of different views on that. I actually have a book called 4 Views of Revelation. And when people ask me, you know, what's your eschatological view? I say, I'm not on the planning committee, I'm on the welcoming committee. I know Jesus is coming back, and when he comes back, I'll welcome him. But I do not think that God intended for us to figure out when he's coming back. In fact, he didn't intend for us to know when he was coming the first time. This is what Paul says in 1 Corinthians chapter 2. He says, if the powers of this world knew, in 1 Corinthians chapter 2, about these things, these Old Testament prophecies, and they could put them all together, they never would have crucified the Lord of glory. Satan thought killing Jesus was the solution. He didn't know that killing Jesus was actually his defeat. And I think the same thing is true in Jesus' second coming. He says, no one knows the day, the hour, the times, nor the season. I'm going to come like a thief in the night. Yet I still see people saying, oh, he's coming, it's soon, he's coming. Whoa! If Jesus doesn't know, you don't know. And the reason Jesus wants us to keep it unknown to us is so we'll always be ready. I mean, if he told us, I'm coming back in 2034, what would we be doing? I got time. I'll just live as I want to live. In 2033, I'll start running up the credit cards. And then I'll repent at the last minute and be with Jesus. No, you always have to be ready. So there's a lot of different ways of looking at the book of Revelation. I think that as you get to the final chapter, we win in the end, however it's going to pan out. I don't take a firm view on eschatology. I got people who are friends that are smarter than me and know the original languages, and they come to different conclusions on eschatology, so I just know we win in the end. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I have a follow-up question. So for the non-believers, I was curious to ask, what does it mean to be ready for the end times?
For non-believers?
Yes. Because I might know what it means to be ready for the end times.
Let me say this. Forget when God is going to come back and end the whole show. Everyone in this room is more certain your individual show is going to end at some point in the next several decades. Nobody in this room is probably going to be alive in 100 years. You know with more certainty your show is going to end than you know when Jesus is coming back. So why are you spending so much time trying to figure out when Jesus is coming back? Because you got to make your decision before either one of those two things happen. Because as C.S. Lewis says, once the author walks out on the stage, the play is over. Your choice, your time to make a choice whether to follow Christ or not is now. While you're still breathing. So I don't concern myself with when Jesus is coming back, because I'm probably going to be punched out of here before he comes back, although maybe not. Right. But I know if Lord gives me another couple of decades, great, or I could drop dead tomorrow trying to get to Marquette.